What is up, chefs, foodies, and students? Welcome to Everybody Knows. I'm Anders. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started. Today we're talking about saffron, and I am mad about saffron, and saffron's mad about me. This ingredient comes to us originally from between the Mediterranean and Western Africa. It's currently well known in cuisines from Europe, the Mediterranean, the Middle East, and Asia, but if you're investigating origins and cultures, be sure to research the time period as well, since many foods are brought to cultures from elsewhere or developed over time. To set the scene, saffron is the most expensive spice by weight on Earth. The reason for that is because it is one of the smallest parts of one species of crocus. And so when a crocus blooms, it has this internal reproductive component that is bright red, super tiny, and has to be harvested by hand. That's the reason for why it's so expensive. The cool thing is these saffron can survive pretty much anywhere on Earth. I'm growing some here, which is why I had access to some fresh saffron for this video. I don't have the fresh version here with me, but the dried version is here. This was fresh, now it's dried. In this vial. And so when we look at saffron, what we are expecting to see in a product is to see these whole, I can't remember if they're stamens or pistils. We see the entire part of the plant. We don't see it ground into a powder. If you're buying saffron powder, chances are you're not buying saffron. Chances are it's being cut with something else. Marigold petals, I hear, are actually pretty common for substitute saffron. So just make sure you can actually see the threads whole, and they should have a nice deep red, almost maroon color with some yellow accents. The form of these threads should look like a 2 or 3 ended thread that's connected at the base. When smelling it, we should get a really nice full aroma. It should be quite strong, and it is a hard one to describe. Me personally, I have tied so strongly some relationships to saffron, some connections, that it's hard for me to separate them. For instance, I think of seafood pretty readily when I smell saffron, and so it's hard for me to sort of disconnect that association. But it's sort of this musky, floral, I would say musky. It's not bright like a rose or something. It's darker. It's, I guess earthy might be a good word, but it's not like fungus earthy. It's just kind of like musky, pungent. Speaking of hard to describe, let's have a quick look at our universal aroma wheel. All right, this version of the wheel, we are going to be looking into the vegetative main category, and within vegetative, floral. This whole category is where all of the actual flowers tend to be. And if we look closer, a little too close. If we look closer within floral, we see that we have this sort of spectrum from darker or more pungent or musky into the brighter aromas for flowers. And so here in pungent and musky, we see is where saffron lies. And so marigold is in that same category, so it's not like a world away, but it is different. Marigold almost has a sharpness to it that's not a bright sharpness, but it's sharp. And I think that's how I would differentiate the two a little bit. But saffron is unique, it's very strong, and that's why I have it here. I could see reordering the flower section in terms of within these categories, because I'm not quite sure I agree with some of these orders now that I'm looking at them again after however long it's been. So if you have thoughts on the organization of the flower section here, or where saffron would lie, I am all ears. I would love to hear your input. Again, this is a very strong ingredient. A few threads go a long way. It also produces a beautiful yellow color. This is really commonly used, I would say, in more Mediterranean seafood dishes like paella. but you can also put this into pasta, into a pasta sauce. It's kind of just delicious as like a tea or like in part of a broth. You definitely want to give it time to release all of its compounds because it's so intense. So I wouldn't add this at the end. I would add this either in the middle or the beginning of a cooking process so that it has time to release all of its fragrance. Let's have a quick look in the Flavor Bible. The Flavor Bible recommends the following ingredients to pair with saffron. Baked goods. Oh, I forgot the Swedish rolls with the saffron in them. So good. Cayenne, chard, couscous, fennel, ginger, garlic, Indian cuisine, mayonnaise, nuts, orange, paella, pasta, pepper, pilaf, potatoes, puddings, rice, raisins, risottos, soups, stews, tomatoes, yogurt, and zucchini. Good, healthy variety. And that about wraps it up. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this ingredient as you cook or as you eat, as well as the words that we use to describe it. Have you used this ingredient successfully or in a way that you were like, yes, that was so good, I want to know about it, let me know. Do you like this aroma? Why or why not? And do you agree or disagree with what I've shared with you today? Go ahead and throw those answers into the comments. I would love to read them. I hope this video made sense and got you thinking about the aroma of saffron. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help me get an ingredient to feature in a video, please send me an email or a private message. If you would like to join the Food Aroma Nerdery, go ahead and subscribe and you'll see all my latest vids. And if you would like to buy either a paper copy or digital copy of the Aroma Wheel that I've built, go ahead and check the description for links. Thanks so much. Bye.